Hello, welcome to Rita's Paper Motif. I'm Rita. Today I want to share with you some cards that I made just using some scraps of designer series paper. I really wanted the designer series paper to do all the work for me, and I also wanted to use that up. So when I do this, this really does help me now that I'm getting ready for product from the new catalog, getting it all organized and ready to go to bring you some great content. But let's go ahead and look at some of those cards or card bases that I've made using some scrap paper. Now, before I get started though, sharing those with you, quickly I needed to share that I'm Rita. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I love to create card designs, scrapbook pages, and 3D projects. I like to share them with you in hopes that that will inspire you to create and that you can share your creations with those that matter to you. All right, so I have some cards that I made. I usually wait and show you these later in the end, but I wanted to share this card. So I'm going to show you how I created this card using like leftover pieces of designer series paper. So they were big enough that I wanted, or the size was good enough that I wanted to save the pieces of designer series paper, but they really I just wanted to do something different with them. And so I was looking on Pinterest and watching some videos that say that kind of share how people use scraps. And so I just got these ideas, and there were some that I thought, I don't know, and some that I didn't really want to. I just felt like it was a lot of work for a scrap. But let me show you what I designed. So we'll talk about them. So this is basically, these two are basically kind of the same, with the same idea. It's just that these strips I cut a little bit bigger, and so it took up the whole area of the card. And also this bottom white layer, I did emboss it with the Eyelet embossing folder, so it gave it a lot of nice texture. I used some vellum to, it just needed something with all these strips, and so I did that. And also the bow punch, I'm so sad it's retiring. So if you're looking for something that will give you these little sprigs of foliage, that's a great find. But I used that to create these little pieces here. And then I used the texture dies for the sentiment, where the sentiment could live. And so they're just graduated sizes. The texture dies, I have to say, they come a close second for those scalloped contour dies that I just absolutely adore. Anyway, and I just added some string or some twine, so you can just kind of see how those things can change just depending on how you cut them. But basically everything else is the same, and these are one panel cards, so they just fit in your envelope just like that. So I can show you, they just fit in like this, and then when you mail them, there you go. And so you can write your message on the back, and then I used another scrap just to decorate the back. So you can see they're just different sizes. Anyway, so there's that card, and there's two different cards with kind of a mistake. I don't want to say mistake, but just a difference in cutting. All right, and then I had a lot of the Full of Life, not a lot. I have quite a few scraps. And so this is a design, and it's used kind of the same way as this card. And so we're going to make a card like this today. So I'll show you how I made it. But just different ways that I used the card base. So this got me to thinking, you know what? Now that we're kind of like getting ready for brand new DSP and new in colors and new product, why not take some of this and just make some of those card fronts, and then you can use them when you're in a hurry to make a card, and you already know that they're tried, true, and tested, right? And also, if you are fortunate enough, like I am, I have a little neighbor lady that loves to just take these card fronts and put them on a card base. And so sometimes she'll, we'll get together and she'll want to make some cards. And then, of course, she gives them out when her family comes over. So, there's just so many ways you can use those card fronts. But I just want to show you. So this is a card front. I didn't really put it on anything, but I used some of the leftover ephemera from that birthday treat package. So really all I had to do was punch it out, and there it is. And this is also a sentiment from the All Mixed Greetings packet, which is going to roll over. So if you want some sentiments that all you have to do is punch out, then that's a great one. And then, of course, this hello, I did get it from a stamp set, the Heartfelt Hellos. And so this is great for Easter, just maybe Valentine's Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day. So I don't know how you can get a stamp set that is so complete. So I just love the stamp set. Anyway, that's what I used. I used the hello and then thinking of you and at Easter. And then all these flowers are using that Petal Park punch. So I don't get rid of my punches. I keep my punches even though they do retire, because I'm going to tell you what, it's just so easy to create with them, and they're just wonderful. So this gave me a chance to use up my DSP. It gave me a chance to use the Petal Park punch. It also gave me a chance to use some of these embellishments that are also going to retire. And so I felt like there was no wastage, and that these are always usable. And whether I use them or my little neighbor uses them, it doesn't really matter. But it's always great to have some cards on hand. And I have a couple more Easter cards that I'm going to hand deliver, so this one will come in handy. All right, and so we're going to make 2 other cards now, or actually 3. So let's just sit tight here. Let's start with a card that looks like this. And so this is a piece of DSP that I've had. Obviously, it's the in colors, right? And this measures 5 by 3 3/4. And so you can see, as with all of our DSP, it is double-sided, and you can choose which side you want to use. I want to use this floral side, and so that's what we'll do. I'm going to layer that once I get it prepared onto this white layer, and then we'll make our card. So let's go ahead and get started. So one of the things that you'll need is you need a pencil, of course. Can you tell my favorite color is purple? All right, so let's see here. I have my handy dandy ruler. I use them for planning, so don't worry about those black marks. They're Sharpie, and I don't think they're coming off. All right, so what I want to do is I want to find the middle part. Now, we know that half of, actually this is 5 inches in width, so half of 5 is going to be 2.5, right? So I'm going to find that middle part, 2.5, and I'm just going to create a little tick mark right there. And I'm going to tell you what I've learned is go ahead and make the tick mark on the side that you're going to be looking at on your card. It's okay, you can always erase it. All right, and then I'm going to go in an inch from the edge in, and I'm going to make another tick mark. I'm going to go, whoop, I can barely see that. And then I'm going to go from an inch in on this side and make a little tick mark. Now, where that tick mark in the middle is, I want to go 1.5 inches from the top, and I'm going to make a tick mark right there. Okay? All right, now we're going to have to do some cutting. So, let's see here. I'm going to get my handy dandy scissors. And we're going to cut from that tick mark, the middle tick mark, down to the 1.5 inch mark. So we're just going to cut a straight cut. Just like that. All right, now we have this split or cut, right? And so then I'm going to see, sometimes these erasers leave little marks there. Won't show, just trust me. And so then we have that tick mark that we did at the sides, and we're going to take our ruler again and our bone folder, so you'll need both. Whoa, sorry about that. I'll get another ruler here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just kind of at the diagonal put our ruler, and then we're going to go underneath. Yeah, underneath. It's really easier. It's just that this is not, this paper hasn't been worked with, so it lays flat, which is a good thing, right? And so we're going to go underneath, and at the bottom we're going to just push up, just right like that. You're just going to go along your ruler, and so you see how it kind of gives it that fold line, right? And so we're going to do the same here. So let's see, we're going to put our ruler once again on those diagonal on those tick marks, and we're going to just run our bone folder along our ruler. So I'm not really I'm just running it. Can you see that, where I'm just running it against the ruler? All right, so now we've created that interesting fold, and so you can do a couple of things here. You can figure out how you want this part to fold over, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a dab of multi-purpose glue. So just a little dab right here, doesn't have to be much, and I'm just going to fold it down and over. Now what's interesting about this is you're going to want to use designer series paper that you like both sides, right? Because you're going to see both sides. And I just kind of hold it for a moment till the glue attaches. This glue is very forgiving for a little bit, but once it attaches, it's on there. All right, and then we're going to take the, oops, see, I didn't hold it long enough. Maybe I don't have very much glue. So I don't really want this fold. This one's a little too, I like this fold better because it doesn't look so pressed down. I just kind of like that. And then we're going to stick this on a piece of basic white. And this happens to be 4 by, oh, let's see, it should be 4 by, this is the wrong one. Yes, it is. It's okay. It is. So it's 4 by 5. I was thinking it should be 5.5, but I'm not sure why I cut it different. Oh, probably because this is the piece of designer series paper that I had left over. And so we're going to just adhere it like this. In a moment we're going to adhere it so it has a margin all the way around. But I want to put my sentiment right here. And so you can do one or two things when you're doing your sentiment. You could take your pencil and put a tick mark right here so you know where your sentiment is going to live. Or what I like to do is I like to just leave it like this and take my sentiment, and I'm using this sentiment that is Hello Spring. It is from the Daisy Daydream Paper Pumpkin. And I'm going to just go ahead and have to get a little closer, sorry. I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. I'm a little worried I can't see, and I don't want to put my head in the camera, so I am going to pull it a little closer. Let's see. Now I got this off a little. Kind of hate when that happens, right? All right, so let's try it again. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. And there we go. Hello, spring. I did use my tuxedo black, my memento. You could definitely use whatever color. Now I've got my sentiment, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down now. And then we're going to put it on a card front. Now, how you decorate this at this point can be kind of simple. Sometimes, you know, simple is good, right? I know that we typically think the more you put on a card, it can be fancier, but in this case, I'm letting the DSP do the work, and I'm okay with it just the way it is. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there. I am using a top folding card base that measures 8.5 by, it was 11, and I cut it at 5.5. Then I scored it in the middle at 4.25. So almost all my cards, well, I do like a slim line, but for the most part, most of my cards are A2. And I wanted to just stop and tell you, you know, I'm going to be doing a class on measurements that you need to remember in card making. So if that's something you think you might be interested in, you can always join me on my YouTube channel, and you will be able to join me as I share those measurements with you. So it'll be measurements on cards and also on some fun folds. Now we're going to be putting this white on white, and I quite like white on white, but I thought one thing I did want to do is I want to go ahead and give it just a tad bit of dimension. So I'm going to pull out my dimensionals, and I'm just going to put some dimensionals right on the back of this white card base. So I know you hear me say it often if you follow me, and that is that I am a user of dimensionals. So, you know, I know that sometimes we have to be kind of frugal and budget things out, but I also know that this card is going to go through the machine at the post office, and not because this is a thing, but it's me. I just like, in my mind, to know that my card, that I've given my card every chance of not coming out all wonky. So to do that, I just probably overuse the dimensionals, but you can figure out what works best for you. But I do like using the dimensionals. They are little foam dots, I think they're called, and they're just great to give that dimension. Now I'm going to prop my card up so that I can see where the margin is, and I got it just a little crooked, so let's see if I can take it off. Let's see, I'm going to try this again. Let's see here. Sometimes it's better not to do that fold just yet, but it's not something I'm used to. Not, I just like to get that fold done. All right, there we go. Not quite. I don't know why I can't get this over to, why my eyeballs are playing tricks on me. Must be an age thing, huh? There we go. Okay, and so then if you had another strip of this designer series paper, you could definitely put it on the bottom. And the one thing that I want to do is I want to put some twine there, and I thought I had my twine with me, but I guess not. So I'm gonna grab some. Let's see here. I really did want that white twine, but I can't believe I didn't have it. All right, so oh well, right? Oh well. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and make a bow here with the twine. And I just a simple bow. Just like tying your shoes. And I really do like twine because sometimes a ribbon is too much for me. And the twine just gives it that little je ne sais quoi. And so let's just go ahead and trim it because we know we're going to, right? Okay. And then we're going to put our little twine bow right there. And what I do is sometimes I use my take a pick tool, or I just use my finger and get the glue dot. I want to roll it in a ball, and then I want to, it's kind of hard because I have lotion on my hands here, and then I just put it on the back of the bow of that twine bow there, and I'm going to put it right here. Now if you're really good with the glue and you don't have glue dots, you could use that, but you know, I get a little heavy-handed with that glue. So, and then I'm going to take some gems. I told you we're getting ready for that new catalog, so there are a lot of gems that are retiring, and so I had to think about what I wanted to put on this card. You know, I don't want to take away from that beautiful designer series paper because I love it. So I just kind of thought, well, what do I want? These kind of get a little lost, but maybe so do these. So here's what I thought. I'm just going to use these. I'm just going to put them all over. Maybe a couple of those. And then I thought, you know what am I doing? These are going to retire. Let's just go for it, right? So I like to put my gems, gosh, I almost lost the word there, in odd amounts. So we have 3 on there. So let's just go ahead and put 5. And you can just put it everywhere, right? And you know what would have been nice too is even to emboss that that layer that this sits on. You would want to stamp it first, right? Because it would be a little too hard to stamp it once you embossed it. But let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just put another one on here. And so there we have a nice little card. And of course, you know, you can use whichever designer series paper you have. And you can see that I used 2 different ones. So this is from the Impressions. It was free designer series paper with the celebration. So we have a celebration once a year. So when that happens, you get to choose or free product for every whatever increment of purchase you make. So this was free with a $60 purchase. And there was a lot of designer series paper. And so I still have some of that left over. So you can see I still have some left over in my little packet here. So I'm trying to use up those pieces of designer series paper. And then of course this was designer series paper with the in colors. Now when you look at the catalog, sometimes look around because you can get packages of designer series paper and it might be listed when you look at the different colors of cardstock. It's kind of listed on the bottom too. So anyway, there's that card. So that's great. Now I told you that we were going to make a card like this one, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I have to get all my stuff here. So I wanted to do that using a couple of pieces of cardstock. So this again is with the 2 Markets, a designer series paper, and then this is the Toadstool designer series paper. Now remember, the Toadstool designer series paper was a freebie, right, with the celebration. Let's go ahead and do this, and we're going to make again a card like this. So we're going to be using our base layer. Base layer is 5 1/4 by 4, and here we go. So the only rule to this card base, and I didn't, for a while I kind of was like, oh, that's an odd measurement, it's just an odd shape. So I kind of didn't, yeah, I kind of had to think about it. But when you realize, and I don't remember who did the video, but it was genius, because the person said, what are you scared of? There's no math to it, just do it. So anyway, the rule is you're going to take whatever piece of paper you want on the left hand side of your card, and you're just going to put it on there at an angle. The rule is you have to have paper hanging off. So I kind of like that. So let's go ahead and just put some glue on here, or some adhesive. I'm kind of running out. Hope I don't have to stop, get another bottle here. Let's see. I might have to. Let's do it. Let's get another bottle. I don't want to struggle. So, you know what I like is when you find card ideas like this that are simple, it does seem genius, because sometimes we make our crafting a whole lot harder than it needs to be. All right, I'm going to need to be careful with this adhesive, because when it's new, it comes out really fast. Now, just want to get an idea in my brain of how I wanted it. So I'm going to slant it like that. So I know with my thumb, I know that I'm going to put glue up here. It's okay if you get glue over here, because we're going to be gluing on that area too. So, like I said, a new glue bottle, it's going to come out quickly. So I already had my thumb where I thought I wanted it. And let me see if I'm following the rule. Yes, there's designer series paper hanging off. And then you can take whatever designer series paper you want to coordinate with, or even sometimes a solid works really good too, right? That's kind of what I did with this. This was the Bloom's Impression, and this was the back side of Full of Life designer series paper. All right, so I'm gonna just take this, I'm gonna just put some glue here, because I know I'm gonna need it, and I'm going to stick this designer series paper, I'm going to stick it right up. It's going to be flush with this one. And never mind my Band-Aid, just a cooking experience with a little twist. All right, so now we've got these glued, and that looks like a big hot mess, doesn't it? Well, we're going to go ahead and clean it up. Just take your scissors and let the layer be your guide, and just clean it up a little. Now, when you see the reveal, it's going to be like, I won't say mind-blowing, but it definitely, let's just do, I could clean this up a little better. It'll definitely be great. So there you go. There we have our, and don't throw these away, because you can use them again on another card. So here we have that layer. Now let's create that other layer with the toadstool while we're here. Might as well do it, get it done. All right, so here's our white base. Gonna make sure it's correct. Okay, so we are going to, you could do it this way too if you wanted to. You could definitely do it this way too if you wanted to. Up to you. Let's try it. All right, so I'm going to put my finger right here. Now remember, you this is not very wide, so you've got to move your toadstool paper over. And I just really like this toadstool paper. I didn't think I would, but you can see the back side is exactly this. So I'm just taking one sheet, it was a 6x6. Okay, we'll just lay it down, just like that. And then we'll take our other sheet and we're gonna just get this glue all over here. And we're going to butt that up to it or kiss it. And then we have that going. And let's just turn it over and clean it up. Whoop, I was a little... Okay. Whoop. I'm trying to keep this so that you can see what I'm doing, and I'm unsure because I'm cutting at an angle here. Okay. One more cut. And I think I can get this better, so there we go. All right, now we have that designer. Save these. So now we have this card panel too. And so then here's what I decided. I'm going to use some garden green for both of them. And this is the 11. And then so it was 11 by 8.5. So I just, with the 8.5 side at the top of my trimmer, I just cut it in half at 4 1/4. And then I scored it at 5 1/2. All right, this is going to live right on here. I am not going to use dimensionals on this, but I am just going to go ahead and adhere it. And you'll want a 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside too. I'm not going to do the inside because the goal of this video is to share with you how I'm using the DSP. But I will come back and use some of those scraps that we had left over and finish the inside. Okay, so there's that. Now if you felt like, sometimes I feel like these seams are not finished, so you could always take this is garden green. You could always take some garden green and just put it across there. That's what I did on this, because these colors were, I was looking for this purple, and that's what this is. But I just kind of felt like when it matched the white, it just was too abrupt. So a little piece of Gorgeous Grape just pulled it together for me. I don't feel the same need on this. All right, so let's also take another piece of garden green. And this was the same card base as the other half of this one. And this is going to open differently, but it's the exact same card. So let's go ahead and secure that fold. And I'm going to put it on like that. So let's go ahead and do that. And while you're, you know, doing this, you could be thinking about the different sentiments you want to put on here. So that's definitely something that you can do. Now I have, just so you know, I'm not sure I'm going to use them today, but I have some of these Happy Easter sentiments that came from that All Mix sentiment pack. So, you know, here's, I don't really know that toads, I think this is more a Happy Spring or something like that. And this is, this could be kind of the same thing. So I'm not going to use these now, but I did want to show you these because that just makes, especially when you're using up your card, your designer series paper, that just makes your life a whole bunch easier, right? And so then we think about how would we want to decorate that. Well, there's so many ways that you could do that, just so many ways. Actually, I am going to put these in the inside because I don't want to have to come back and do that. So I will just go ahead and adhere this 4 by 5 1/4 piece, and then all I have to do is decide what I want on the inside. And let's see here. I have some stamps already out. So let's see, this one is the toadstool. So I also had, this is where I have to kind of look for my stuff. I also had some toadstools or some snails that came in a paper pumpkin. And so lo and behold, I'm not sure where I put them. I'm looking. I just found my twine. Well, I don't know where I put them, but I have a toadstool that I'm going to put right here. Or if you have that beautiful terrific toadstools, you could do that as well. So that's also an option, and you could just go ahead and stamp it. And I like that you can just use this stamp set as well. So let's go ahead and use it. Let's just go ahead and do it. I don't know why I'm holding off here. Oh, I know why, because I thought I was going to do this on here. And we can do that too. But I want to use that sentiment. So I'm glad, I'm not trying to make this a long video, so thank you for sticking with me. Thank you very much for sticking with me. And let me just get some inks here because I've decided to go all the way with you. Let's get our green ink here. We can use it for both cards, but for this toadstool card, now I've got too much going on here, don't I? For this toadstool card, we're going to use the green, and we're going to use that popping up. Whoops, popping up. This is a big block. I have stamps on all my other blocks here, so, and I like to have a little piece of paper laying here so that I can practice stamping, because you know what happens sometimes is maybe you don't get your stamp, or you don't get your stamp inked the way you want. It's good. And then when you go to stamp it on your card, you have, you know, it just doesn't look so good. All right, so we're going to just put popping up right here. Let's see. Where do I want it? I think this will work. Hope I got it straight. Oh, see? I don't know if I can fix that. Let me see. If not, I'll have to do a sentence strip, which I don't want. I think I'm going to have to do a sentence strip. I am. So we're going to, it's because of this big acrylic block I'm using. I should have just taken some of those others off. But you know what? There isn't a mistake that you can't fix. So we're just going to stamp that, and I will put that away while I trim this. So I don't trust myself to trim straight, so I'm going to bring out my trimmer. And I trim best when it's closest to me. So I just want to take off a little. And you know what, I'd be really mad at myself if I sliced up that sentiment. Okay, good. So I needed to see there we go. So then you can just pop this up right here. You could put it on some green if you wanted to, some green cardstock. I'm not going to. I am going to cut a little bit off the side though. And then maybe, yeah, no, that's good. And then I am going to use dimensionals, and I didn't mean to mess up, I just did. So, let's see here. But we fixed it right, and so our card is still going to look really cool. And yes, you're probably saying, boy, I bet that woman uses a lot of dimensionals. I do. You are 100% correct when you say that. Okay, and then we're just going to okay, and then what I would do is I would just take my extra scrap paper here, and I'd take maybe some crumb cake, and I'm going to take the stem of the mushroom that is in that stamp set. And thank you guys for sticking with me. I know I didn't intend for this to go so long, and then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp it. And then I did bring over some real red ink so that we could, although this is Melon Mambo, but I do see some red right here. So we're going to bring that out, and I'm going to get another clear block. That's not going to fit, is it? This will not fit on there. I don't know what I was thinking. We'll put it on this one now. You know how I am with these too big acrylic blocks, but let's go for it. I'll stamp over here to make sure it's stamped. See, that was a good thing to look at because, okay. We're going to just stamp this right here, and then we'll fussy cut it out. And when we do that, we're going to have this way cool little mushroom or toadstool on our card. And so I'm also using up my white strips as well. And I'm sorry I did need to bring this closer to me to cut. And some of you say I don't like to fancy cut. Well, you know what? We have dies for the stamp set too. So, gotcha there. Now, I did also want to, while I'm cutting this out, remind you that we have the last chance list going on. So if there is a particular designer series paper that you want, now would be the time to go get it, because it's while supplies last, and it's also very affordable right now. I was looking at the To the Market designer series paper, and I believe right now I'm pretty sure I saw it for $8 and normally, or $8.50 maybe, and normally our designer series paper sells for $12.50. So that's a good buy. All right, so now I went ahead and cut those out. Let's go ahead and put them together. I want to just glue this down. Couldn't find my adhesive, and that's because I put it away. Imagine that. All right. So I'm just going to kind of put this like this, and then I am going to take, you know what, dimensionals, and I'm going to use 3. I also use these side parts too, so I don't really, even though I'm kind of I use a lot of dimensionals. I do use the whole thing, so there's no waste. And there we go. We have a cute little card. Now you could, you know, deck it out, right? And then I thought that little, I had a little leaf here that I wanted. Oh, here it is. I thought I could use this little leaf on the inside here. And then when I put my inside message, if I put one, sometimes I don't put one. Sometimes I just write a message. I just thought I could put that like that. And it's okay if it's kind of faint, right? Why not? And one right there. And now I have the inside is decorated as well. And again, I did have that little snail. I don't know, I don't have it handy, but I did have a little snail piece that I would put right there. And I think that would look cute. All right, let's just put the inside in here. And we could also stamp this. I don't think I will put Happy Easter. I might put Happy Spring, and I do have that stamp. So we could put that. Oof. There we go. Okay. So we can put Hello Spring is what it actually says. And I just want to make sure that all my ink is off. I'm going to use this garden green. And then, folks, we're almost finished. So while I'm stamping this, if you like this content, please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're watching here on Facebook, then please consider following me here on Facebook. All right, so then there's all kinds of ways that you can decorate this as well. I'm not going to do that because I've spent a lot of time with you, and I don't want to wear out my welcome. But you could decorate this anyway. It'd be perfect to get some of those pumpkin pine flowers, just like we did with that petal punch. And you know, you could put them on here. Just a whole bunch of things that you could do. You could, if you have ribbon this color, you could put that on there. A ton of things that you can do. And you can also be using your stamp sets. So not only are you using up your designer series paper, but you're also using those beloved stamp sets. All right, so let's just bring them all in so we can kind of look at what we did here. We did that one. Here's some that I did previously. And these are all using designer series paper and ephemera. And just quickly, I wanted to share with you what I do with my ephemera is when I have ephemera, oh, guess what I just found? When I have ephemera like this, so this was from an old paper pumpkin, I just put them in a container like this. Now they're all gonna fall out. And then when I need something, I just have to open the container. So look at this cute little snail. Isn't it so cute? I'll just put it right there. So yeah, so I saved my ephemera pieces too, and my designer series paper, and then I'm just glad to be able to use these up. So there we go. There's a cute little card. I think they're cute. If you think they're cute, go ahead and hit the like button. And thank you for spending time with me today. You have a great weekend and a happy Easter. Bye now.